as we go through. I do actually want to introduce Patrick Scavone. If I said your name wrong, correct me.
Well, that's actually the Italian way right there.
He is our department head for product design at CCS. And Heather Ernley is one of the faculty members as well. So she has joined us. I'm with the admissions office, and I also have Oliver Posto, who's also with our admissions office, is sitting in on the presentation today as well. So Patrick, if you want to take it away, you are welcome to.
All right, thank you. I'm going to try to share my screen. So here we go. Okay. Can you see that?
Yep, we're seeing it.
Let me see if I can get this larger. Well, welcome. And since this is a small group here, we can keep this kind of just easy going. So if you want to ask a question while we're talking, that's absolutely great. Just stop us and we'll go from there. Okay. Again, I'm the Patrick Scavone, and I'm the chair of the product design department. I want to give you a little bit of my background too, but before I do that, I want to introduce Heather Ernley. She keeps the wheels rolling in product design. Heather, you want to say hello?
Hello, I am the program manager, so I'm kind of responsible for keeping the wheels running, as Pat said. Everything, I kind of connect to all the different departments, and I am an alumni myself, although not a product design alumni. I graduated about 15 years ago in the crafts department.
Thank you. I'm also a CCS graduate. I'm not even going to tell you what year I graduated from. We don't want to go back that far. But I left Ford Motor Company after 21 years, where my last job was global director of design for trucks and SUVs at Ford Motor Company. I left that job in 2010 to become vice president of design for Whirlpool Corporation on the west side of Michigan. And I retired in 2018, and I have been at CCS ever since. And this is my second year as the chair. The reason I'm telling you that is because one of the strengths of CCS, and especially product design, is that all of the classes and all of the instructors are all professional working designers. And if you did not know, that Michigan actually is sort of the home of industrial design, sometimes known product design, of anywhere in the country. There's more working designers in Michigan than there is in California or New York or any of the other, Texas, any of the other big states, by a lot more. And a lot of that had to do with the automobile industry, obviously, but also there's so much industry. Just as where I worked at Whirlpool, it's the largest global appliance manufacturer in the world, and they're based in Benton Harbor, Michigan. So that is what is one of our strong suits. And I'm gonna go through a couple of things here. Oops, there you go. That's too much. Okay. And the other strength from CCS point of view is that we have been around for a long time. We've done this for a long time, and we've built on all of our strengths over that time. And that is just, you can't go beyond that. I mean, it's just fantastic to have all of, and we're going to show you some things like our shops and our labs, and again, our working professionals that are all of our adjunct professors. And I think that's what we have been able to build on. Now, as the vice president of design for Whirlpool, I saw every single portfolio that came into Whirlpool. And I'm going to tell you, and it's not because I'm an alum from CCS. my view, and I've hired from all over the world, is the CCS, I believe, is the best product design education anywhere in the world. And I think that the strength, well, you know what, let me stick to the script here a little bit. Okay. And we do all kinds of different, one of the interesting things about product design is it isn't just the one thing. There's so many different opportunities. You can, if you're really more technical, you could go into more of the medical profession. Like, well, as my job at Whirlpool was sort of more brand based and consumer centric. So we did a lot less problem solving and a lot more, I guess, beautiful design. And so there's different ways you can be a problem solver. You can be a user-focused designer. You could be more of an artistic designer. That's how I kind of frame myself. And it's really, really exciting. And one footwear, which is another huge area that a lot of people come to CCS for. So it's a great profession, and also we're getting a lot of jobs out there. There's a lot of jobs right now. Heather, you want to talk about what you're having to go through right now with all the companies that are trying to talk to our students?
Yeah, we have a lot. Well, we're gearing up for Industry Day, which is a big kind of job fair of sorts for our juniors and seniors, and a lot of our students get hired for internships and for full-time work. And it's all the students put together boards with all their work, and we bring over 100 companies in to kind of tour around and see everyone's portfolios, and a couple of different of the majors come together for this event. And so we are a week away from it right now, and a lot of the companies do presentations, and they set up interviews with the students either the day of or the day before. They meet students and then set up times afterwards. And it's a pretty big undertaking, to say the least. So we've just been fielding all these presentations, and it's an exciting time right now.
I think we have, Heather, about 120 companies coming next Friday. Does that sound about right to you?
Yep, and more every day are being added.
More every day are being added. And another little fact is they're trying to grab our students before they graduate. I teach the seniors, and I have 6 seniors that have already signed full-time contracts, and they're not graduating till May. So that was actually 6 in the first semester. We got 3 more that are about to go. So we're up to 9 students that are already signed for full-time positions. So, and just to give you an idea, salary wise, a good CCS or any kind of good designer that's coming out of school gets about the same salary as a mechanical engineer coming out of school. So you can make the money of an engineer, and that's something, because the parents, a lot of parents are concerned about whether there's, as soon as a student says art school, that gets parents nervous, and I guess I can understand that. But you can make a living that's very parallel to an engineer. I want to see these projects that we have here on this board. It looks like you could reach out and touch them. They look like they're real. They are not real at all. None of these even exist. This is all 3D data, all computer based. And if you're looking at it and you're saying, I could never do that, that's what you would be learning from us. We're going to teach you how to understand your new user, how to problem solve, how to draw both on paper and on pads, so 2D as well. And then we move you into the 3D data. And this has a software that's called KeyShot, you can do all these beautiful colors and textures and things once you have all the data put together. So, you know, I think they're exciting images. They are very exciting images, but this is actually what you're going to be learning. And the other things that we do is we talk about sustainability. You'll have classes all about sustainability and all the socioeconomic and technological dynamics that goes with that, analog and digital tools, as I mentioned. And then we will have you build a portfolio. And we have something that we really like. It, you know, we call it creative disruptive solutions. We're going to teach you how to think. We're going to teach you how to take an inspiration and turn it into a vision for a product. And there's several ways of doing that. And that's something that you'll learn over your time at CCS. This was a sponsored project because that's another very important part of what happens at CCS. Because we have such an enormous partnership with industry that our industry partners come in and they sponsor an individual class. And that's what happened here with this ExxonMobil project that you're seeing right here. Patty, by the way, this is Josh Quarters, just so you know. And
thank you. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's actually in our classroom presentation.
Is it really? Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you can see, it's a charging units for electric vehicles, and there's a lights in there. I think there's even a phone charging, and I think he even had heat in there so that you could just sit. And it was a really great presentation, really, really, really well done. This is also Josh. And Bissell, that makes vacuums and floor care. They had a studio project with us, and you can see the one Swoopy. I love that, right? It's fun, and look, you can see sad Swoopy and happy Swoopy and tired Swoopy. So that's kind of taking a different approach than the conventional type of vacuum or sweeper. I think this is. I don't know what it is. Here's another one. And I think that's the picture of the class with Bissell executives. Beautiful little one, hangs on the wall, charges on the wall. And again, don't be afraid of what you're seeing here, because we're going to teach you how to do this. I'm going to try to go through this fast, but this is a hard one for me because it's one of my all-time favorite projects. And the thing that I love about this is that Jenna, who, by the way, now works at Whirlpool, well, let me just take you through it real fast, but it's not there. Okay, good. It's one of my favorites. I thought it was in here. I don't know what happened, but we were doing small space cooking for like a really, really small apartment. And she came up with the idea of, have you ever seen those sort of wicker baskets that people hang on the wall in their kitchen? She got inspired by that. And she created a vision where she made the pots and pans hang on the wall, but the lids had these beautiful designs on it. And so when you took it off the wall, you could cook on it, but then you could store it on the wall, and it looked like a bunch of baskets, and it was really, really cool. If I can think of where I have it, I'll go get it at some point here. A lot of footwear we do. Curtis is he's at Adidas now in Germany, and he did some beautiful things. He came up with an idea I really loved, which was he took almost a hard shoe. It was a wingtip, and he turned it into a sports shoe. And it was just a really, really neat idea that came off really well. And that's when Adidas hired him based on that. Here's some sketches you can see in the background. We're going to teach you how to do this. More and more people are sketching digitally versus analog, but if you want to get your ideas down, sketching on a piece of paper is still very fast. This was, you can see the foam model down here to give you an idea of the ergonomics, and I'm going to show you the finished. So you see the sketches, that this is an orbital sander or something like that. We'll see on the next page. But you can see how she's testing the foam mock-up for the correct ergonomics. That's the users. And this is it was a jigsaw. And this is the final product. And I love that when people put the graphics and even some of the legal things that have to be on products, it just makes them look so much more real. Really good project. She's working too. Most everybody's working. Human factors, application. So apps, we're doing a lot more apps. That's a big part of our business, and a lot of part of regular products that you do have apps in them. How am I doing on time over here? Okay, we're good. Yeah, as I said, we have a reputation for world-class education and job placement. If you see on here the second tick point, the partnerships, you see General Motors, Bissell, Wolverine, Charnowski, Generac, Zenith, Ford, Garmin, Whirlpool, Stryker, but there's many, many more. That's just a small sampling. And we're getting more and more international students and international companies that are coming to CCS. We've won, I can't even tell you how many design awards we've won this year, several global design awards. So like I said, we're the best. This was a great project and competition. And I'm trying to remember, let's see, it was a, the top one, it was a, it was for babies that, it's like a Billy Rubin, isn't that what it's called? Billy Rubin light?
This one was right before I started.
Okay, it was for premature babies, and it was just beautifully done, and she won a gold award with it. And Daniel Helbrin, who is a really wonderful, he has an interest in sustainability like nobody I've ever seen before, and he intends to go on the social conscious side for his life, and that's what he's going to do. And he did this stackable affordable housing, and I think he was basing it in Brazil, and he won a silver award in the architecture, engineering, and interiors category, and that was exciting too. This is it. Very important. The European Product Design Award is a very important award, and this student Tomoyo won, I think what it was. I think he won a gold. I don't remember, but we and he's a sophomore, I think, he's a freshman. He was a freshman when he won this award. So that's pretty neat. Oh, here's a good list. Look at this, look at those companies on there. 3M, Nike, Newell, Phillips, Procter and Gamble, Radio Flyer, even Rivian Automotive. So, and this is again a small sampling of the companies that we're working with. Here we are again. And since Michigan is a hotbed of design, there's all kinds of places that we could take students on tours and learn manufacturing right there in the plants. And we do a lot of outside visits, and this really, there comes a time when you have to take what you're learning in school and sort of try to see how that applies really in business and industry. And this is a really great way for students to understand exactly what happens out there in the real world. Our facilities, I said, are best in the world. And look, if you can see this motorcycle here, completely made out of foam core as a mock-up. And we have model shop, CAD workstations. We have 2 labs on our floor in product design, And then, of course, our studio style classrooms where we work together with and work in the class. Our model shop, we have 2 model shops actually, and they're world class. And you have the opportunity to study abroad also. I was laughing at one student that went, I think he was in London. And when he came back, I said, so how'd it go? I said, what'd you learn? He goes, well, I didn't get a chance to learn that much because everyone was asking me how I did what I was doing. So I was teaching more than I was learning. And I thought that was a really, really, really great reflection on the quality of what our students' experience is.
My last class when I was a student was I spent a month in Europe, 2 weeks in Italy, 1 week in Greece, and 1 week in Bulgaria. And it was an art history trip, and it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. It was a very special class.
And then we get a lot of students also that are coming from other schools to CCS. We had 2 students from Germany last semester, and they just loved it and learned a ton. Community engagement, we're getting more and more on around the idea of community engagement and giving back to others and doing for others. And Veronica Scott is just, she's unbelievable what she had done. She wanted to help the homeless in Detroit. So she wanted to design a coat specifically for the homeless. And as she went out to interview homeless people said, you know what I need more than a coat? I need a job. So she put 2 and 2 together. She created the coat, and then she created a plant to make the coats, and she hires nothing but homeless people. And I believe her coats are being sold in every country in the world practically. And she's been on CNN, and she's got backing from big companies like General Motors. And so what she's done, and again, that's the idea of how to take an idea and turn it into a vision. So, but she couldn't have gotten to where she got without going and talking to the users themselves and the people that she was making it for. So she wasn't stuck in a classroom trying to figure this out. She went out and talked to them and learned they really wanted to have an opportunity to work and have a job. And she's got a fantastic rate. People are moving on out of homeless shelters and into their own apartments and things. And this is what she does for a living. And it's fantastic.
Well, and our product was that the coat actually converts into a sleeping bag. So it's extra warm at night. So yeah, that was her special contribution.
It's fantastic. We actually have the original prototype on our floor in the product design department. Alumni is also a very important part of what happens at CCS. The other thing that's interesting about CCS is our connections to the alumni. It's really powerful. They're on all of the big companies, and they come back and they hire CCS grads. I can tell you true because I did the exact same thing. But they're also teaching for us and mentoring students. And the other portion is our culture. The alumni are very representative of that culture. People that come to CCS become CCSers for life. And the students, there's a culture of working together at school, and that's really powerful. And I remember learning just as much from my peers when I was at CCS as from the system and the instructors. So we have, like I said, a very unique system at CCS for success. I don't know what this means. See, this is all data for me, right? So I think the important thing here is 98% of students receive up to $20,500 on average from a scholarship or grant package. Patty, is there anything else about this page? Well,
Yeah,
this
I
is
was
my
just gonna
first
say,
one.
if you want, I can jump in here.
Yeah, do that.
Um,
That helped me.
because it talks a little bit about the application process, which is pretty simple. We have a free online application. We don't use Common App, but like I said, our application is free on our website. We need high school transcripts. The minimum GPA for admission is a 2.5, but higher is definitely going to be better for scholarship consideration. And then we need a portfolio, and the portfolio requirements are probably the most stressful part of the application for the student, but the requirements are actually pretty simple. We want to see 8 to 12 pieces of your best work. There are a number of opportunities to have your portfolio reviewed ahead of time by the admissions office. You can reach out to us anytime. We can do it virtually. If you come to an admissions appointment or an open house on campus, you can always bring it with you. We do different events around the state, around the country. So there's different ways to do that as well. We actually do not require SAT or ACT. So that's good to know. We actually have what's called rolling admissions. So the earliest that a student can apply is fall of your senior year. And then December 1st is our early action deadline. It's not a final deadline for admission, but it is a priority date for scholarship. So if you get all of your admission stuff into us, the application, the transcripts, the portfolio, by December 1st, you're going to be eligible for the most amount of scholarship money possible. And like Patrick pointed out, the average scholarship in the last couple of years has been just over $20,000. So that's great. And that's average. So 98% of our students receive some kind of financial aid and scholarship. Definitely complete the FAFSA form, the free federal application for financial aid. There's quite a few things that can be used at CCS. So there's a lot of different options there. And then we always recommend visiting the campus. I can put a link in the website here in just a second, or in the chat just a second, for the CCS website. I highly recommend checking that out. There's a lot of great information, a lot more student artwork, more information about internships and jobs that students have gotten from this department as well, and more information about the application and things like that. We do have open house events. We have one coming up in February the 19th, I believe. That's an in-person. We also are doing some virtual ones too. So there's a spot on our website in the admission section. You can see all the upcoming events. And there's more of these major insights in other areas as well. So if anybody does, I know we don't have a huge crowd here, but if anybody does have any questions for Patrick about the department, questions about the program, or for me about admissions, you're welcome to either unmute yourself if you'd like, or you can put it in the chat. Either is fine with us. So just let us know what else we can help you with this evening.
I'd like to mention one thing about the portfolio review. Don't let that be kind of phenomenally scary, because it's not. We're looking for raw talent. We absolutely understand that coming out of high school, you're not going to have the level of work that I've been showing you here today. So raw talent is really what we're looking for, and then it's what you do with it and what you learn once you're in the school. So don't let that portfolio. I remember, the reason I'm bringing that up is I remember being terrified when I had to go to CCS to have my portfolio review, and so I've been in your shoes here, and it's okay. And I'll tell you what, most people that are gonna try to apply and come in for a portfolio review, their work is gonna probably be good enough because they've done some, and to get you going, and then we can help you take it from there to great heights. So I think that's the end of our kind of presentation.
It is, yeah.
Here.
And yeah, just to reiterate the portfolio thing, absolutely. What we want to see is examples of your best work. It's not specific by major. There's not really any specific requirements for product design in the portfolio. It can be anything you want it to be. It doesn't have to be work you did in a class. It can be something you did on your own. It can be something that took you 5 minutes or 10 minutes to do. It doesn't have to take, 15 hours to do. It's the stuff that you're the most excited about, that you're the most proud of. That's the stuff we want to see in the portfolio. And one way to help you kind of maybe get over that nervousness or to help you with that is, like I suggested, to, talk to us ahead of time. Let us take a look at your portfolio ahead of time and give you some feedback on it. We're here for you in the admissions office to do just that. We can let you know what you need to work on, or, yep, that looks great. So that's what we want to do. We want to be able to help you with that kind of stuff. So you're absolutely welcome to do that. Does anyone have any questions? Don't all talk at once. I put the link for the website in the chat, and then I can also add the one for the admissions office. Or actually, no, I can't. But feel free to reach out. I will put my email as well. Or actually, I'll just put the general admissions email, because you can reach out to us anytime.
And if you'd like to talk to one of us, get a hold of Patty, and she'll contact me, and I'll contact you. So if you have any other specific questions and you want to speak to me or Heather, that's great. And we're here to help, and we care about our students. We care about your future, and you'll know that once you start working with us, and what a staff we have.
Pat, did